Hi. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Heavy Wrench. Today we are going to do a toolbox tour of what my old man, the old-time welder, has here for tools at the farm. So this should be an interesting video. I'm just going to let him roll with it. So either way, the Heavy Wrench is merchandise is there if you want it. TheHeavyWrench.com. You can buy it if you want to. Don't feel like you have to. So we'll wrap this up. I'm going to let him do his toolbox tour of this array of tools. So here you go. It's all yours.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I am the old-time welder, Heavy Wrench's dad. But this is my toolbox. It's 12 feet of tools that have been a lifetime collected. And they're not the Snap-on, the Matco, although we have a few of them, but they're not all the name brand stuff that you think of, but they're all good tools. And the key is, as I always tell my son, they're bought and paid for, all mine. So here we go with my toolbox tour. This part of my toolbox is one of my favorite parts. We use this quite often. It stores my coffee, water, and everything else, and Chase's cookies, my grandson's cookies, and their popsicles. This is all the bits. These are all the bits that fit all my screw guns and all that kind of stuff that I put them in one drawer so I can look through and get them easily. The next drawer down is all my rulers. There's an interesting story behind these rulers. When I first had my other shop, behind this one that I'm currently in, which has got the heat and all the good stuff in it, I had tools scattered everywhere. I mean, everywhere. So in that process, I came across, I thought I had just a couple of rulers, but as you can see, there's probably 25 rulers in this drawer. All the ones that I've collected over the years. So that is my ruler drawer. Moving right along to my wire brush, file drawer, extra handles, all my files, wire brushes are in this drawer here. And I even have this is called a radiator fin tool. I use it in HVAC world. I think you can use it on regular radiators too. I don't know. Phil probably hasn't found it yet, so yeah, that's why it's still here. Okay, next drawer down. This is pretty much a few more wire brushes. I have like doubles and triples and everything. So these are my chalk lines, handles, spanner wrenches for my grinders and stuff like that are all in here. And then we go down to the bottom. These are like a few knee pads I have, a couple of, there's a puller for fans, and I also have a transit in here, and my longer tape measures. All right. Moving over to this next section here, the second section now. This is what I call my community catch-all. I have parts here that I have, like I use on certain things. Like, for instance, this is an old bearing out of a color packer, but I use this because it's 1.8" square to put a square shaft in here. I round out the end and I make square disc shafts out of that. I put it in my pipe machine and it makes square disc shafts. So that's kind of what I put in them drawers like that. And there's a lot of pieces I work on stuff and throw up here to keep. But this is my machinist type of drawer where I keep all my stuff for my machines, like my mill and my lathe and my iron worker and stuff like that. But this is like scribes. These are like where I put batteries and stuff like that. Center section, playing deck cards. You never know when that comes in handy. And we have punches for my iron worker. That's where I keep all my punches. And this little section here, I keep this little guy right here, which is a 18-inch 5/16 nut driver. This is you use it pretty much on furnaces when you're doing furnace work. But that's what I do also. I clean furnaces and stuff like that. And this has got like some test hoses, knife sharpener, oddball stuff. Whoops. This one here used to be measuring instruments, but I do keep, like, this is for changing chain on manure spreader, stuff like that. I put stuff like tools like that in here. Battery cleaners, springs, just odds and ends, things that I keep and use periodically through my farm machinery repair. These, oops, let's just draw open up here. This is oddball set of wrenches that I had left over, spanner wrenches, stuff where the sets are gone. And I just kind of threw them in that drawer. They had no better place to put them. This bottom drawer, I keep flashlights in here. And this is because my son, the heavy wrench, used all my wrenches today and never put them away. That's pretty much a standard in the industry of the shop because, you know, they get them out and the old man puts them away. You know, that's how it works around here. So basically that's all that part of the toolbox.
This is all you can see. So just keep everything down there and you'll find it.
Ready?
Yeah.
We are going to start here. This is what I call my metric drawer. This is the only metric wrenches I have. I never purchased a lot of metric wrenches because I never really used that much until I met these guys. But anyway, this drawer here is my Allen wrench drawer. My Allen wrench drawer, as you can see, is well packed. I don't have a shortage of Allen wrenches. So if anybody would ever need any Allen wrenches, you would know where to get them. This is my SAE wrenches up to 3/4. From 1/4 inch to 3/4. Why I split it that way? Because I had too many wrenches. So that is that drawer. This is from 3/4 to 1 inch, or 1 1/8 I think it is. 1 1/8 this drawer is. So, and then this drawer here is my bigger wrenches, from inch up to, I don't know, 2 inches, 2 inch. And then down below is all my hammers. You'll see throughout my toolbox tour that I have a hammer addiction. I buy tons of hammers at garage sales. Every garage sale I go to, I buy hammers. And I buy punches and chisels. You will see that later on in my toolbox. This is my center section of drawers. All this stuff is like tape, cleaning stuff, Loctite, you know, some screws, marking tape, stuff like that. A couple of lighters here for lighting torches or whatever. This drawer becomes my nut driver drawer. I have tons of nut drivers in that drawer. And different ones, metric and American. This drawer, all Phillips screwdrivers. It's a hodgepodge of different types and different kinds, and all different kinds. Some of them are like, you know, pry bars, screw starter, lineup, drip, punches, you know how that goes. This is my straight blade screwdrivers. As you can tell, I don't have very many snap-on and all that fancy stuff, but I did buy a couple of snap-ons through the years. One right there, old school, but I only got a couple. This drawer is scrapers, knives. Me and my one grandson, I'll show you him a picture later on, have several of these knives, and we actually changed every stinking blade in every one of these knives that we had. None of them had knives in them, so we both sat down one day and went through them all. This here is a hodgepodge of drawers. Turkey baster, we all know what we use them for. This is a hose repair, pliers, pickle forks, leather punches. You never know why I want to go Amish, you know, make leather harnesses and leather punches all over the place. But, you know, this one here is all of my snips. I have all kinds of snips. I do a lot of tin work and stuff like that. So I know all kinds of snips. This drawer here becomes all of my air fittings and my air stuff that I need. And some was missing, but you know, Heavy Wrench has been here, so a lot of stuff is out. He'll put it back maybe sometime. The That's what I have in this drawer. I do have a hard time keeping my air chucks and stuff. This drawer is all of my specialty crescent wrenches. The old, this was always my metric set right here. These are my metric tools, basically. You know, metric fits all we call them. Big channel locks and stuff like that. On the bottom, again, you'll see I have a few pipe wrenches. Here is all of my pipe wrenches, some pry bars, saws, hammers, whatnot have you. Kind of a catch-all because I do have a lot more hammers, of course, you know. And I always have one of these strap wrenches, pipe cutters, stuff like that. Because I have done lots of different types of work, so I do have a lot of different types of oddball tools.
Now we're filming.
Okay, this is my welding toolbox. I had this at a place where I worked before. A guy was going to get rid of it, so I just grabbed it. And I put all my stuff that has to do primarily with welding, fixing my machine. Like for instance, these are all my pipe welding layout tools. Got some extra spare regulators, have lots of regulators. I don't know why all of a sudden I got to collect a bunch of regulators, but and this here is where I have regulator repair pieces that I have, like this here is a, it goes from, if your tank is in the, like the old Lindy style tank, that's what this one fits. But that's what I put in there. The next one here is I have all my stuff for my MIG wire. This keeps the MIG wire clean. You put it around the MIG wire when you're using it, it actually cleans out the wire. It's got a little bit of a fine oil on there. That's not, it doesn't contaminate your MIG wire, but it keeps it clean. These are some nozzles for my MIG. All my helmet, different helmet glass. All my torch tips for all my different torches. I have pretty much primarily all Victor torches. I do have a couple of Harris's and different ones like that. I kind of collected them as I went through. People got rid of torches and they gave them to me, and I kind of kept them. That's what I do. These here are all of my gauges. And this little tool, I don't know if you guys know what this is, but this is a Schrader valve replacement tool. You want to replace a Schrader valve in something without changing the whole system on an AC unit? You use that. You put it in there, unscrew the Schrader valve, pull it out, put a new one in, slip it right back in. All done. I don't know why it was in the welding drawer, but that's where it's at. This one here is all of my MIG accessories, extra ground clamps, nozzles, repair for wire, for welding lead repair stuff, the 3-aught, the 1-aught, I'm sorry. This drawer here is all of my grinder, repair, key handles for the old Lindy cylinders. I still have a couple of them Lindy cylinders. I'm trying to get away from them. People are trying to get away from them, but they're really nice. I like them. This is all for my plasma cutting torch. And then this one here is extra torches I have. This is the old Victor Mini. Pretty handy. This is a soldering torch that I have. Old style B tank. This is a Harris torch. Actually CW. Yeah, I keep, like tank wrenches, rosebuds, stuff like that in here. Oops. Okay, here we come to the real interesting tools of my collection. This first one here is what I love to collect. I go to garage sales and I will only collect old chisels. As you see, like these old time chisels like that, and like this. I have a few of the newer versions, just like down punches and stuff like that. But I primarily collect old ones. I don't pay a lot because they're made of harder steel. And I used to grind them down, make easy outs out of them, stuff like that. So I was always doing that with my chisels and punches. The next drawer down is a plier drawer. This is like got all, I don't really have any organization to it, just the pliers. Some are Some are needle nose, some are vice grips, channel locks, stuff like that. Next drawer down is the rest of the pliers, wire cutters, and Heavy Wrench is talking about having a hose cutter. This is one of my hose cutters, and I have another one that I keep in the milk house for doing my plastic lines for the water. But I do have a actual hose cutting tool. Unlike the Heavy Wrench, doesn't have one of those. Someday you'll grow up and buy one. This is my 1/4 inch drawer. Don't have a lot of 1/4 inch, but this is the special ratchet that, I don't know, some people talk about, and I think that CP guy talked about, but I had him way before he did. This here is a Black Hawk ratchet that goes like this. You can do left to right ratcheting, and this. You twist the handle and she twists. The reason I got this one, I have this one in a 1/4 and a 3/8, because when I worked in a school system, I had to do compressor changeouts on HVAC, and you'd break the thing loose with a 1/4 turn, and you could actually take this twist and get the bolts out and remove the compressor quite easily. Time saving. This here, my 3/8 drawer. I have a entourage of 3/8, a lot of stuff, a lot of Craftsman, a lot of Tecton. I got some, what's about it? I got a couple of those. What's that one kind I had that? I don't know what you call them. Phil talks about them sometimes. I don't know what you call them. Green pneumatic. That's what it was. And then this is my 1/2 inch drawer, my heaviest drawer. All my ratchets in here are, I do have one snap-on. This is the big snap-on ratchet I have. This has been, only one I got in the snap-on world with that. I do have Proto, Craftsman. I have lots of Protos. Everybody thinks there's 3 of the same Protos. I don't know how I collect them all. And then I got the one that drives both of my mechanic sons crazy. Here she is. Watch closely. Oh, it's an Extendo special from Harbor Freight. You gotta have one of these in your box. Especially if you're working on farm machinery, because you never know when you might get a little more leverage. I have used that. It's been a pretty good ratchet. I can't complain about it too much. Although both of my mechanic sons complain about that ratchet. But I'll bring her out all the time. This is my air tool drawer. Now this here, I have what's commonly known as a hodgepodge of air tools. I have, two IRs, a Husky, a Craftsman, and I don't know what this one is. I have no idea. I do pick them up at garage sales once in a while, but Now this thing here, a sheet metal cutter, it fits on a drill bit. That's a sheet metal cutter, it fits on a drill bit. And that's the end of that drawer. This here is in the wrong spot, obviously, but this is my Victor torch. I picked it. This one just got rebuilt. I just sent it out. I take my torches every so often and send them out to get rebuilt. They reseat them, do all the O-rings in here, reseat this. Trust me, do that every so often, and you will save acetylene like you wouldn't believe. Because everybody says their tanks go dry because these begin to leak. So it's always a good thing to have your torches reseated. Find a guy that does it, that's good. I had Airgas do this one, but I've had other guys that, well, I had a personal guy that would do it for me, but he kind of retired. This little box here, I picked up at an auction sale from a friend of mine who had an auction sale at his house, was selling out, went to our church, and he was a machinist, and actually he told me this belonged to his dad, and him was one of their first toolbox they had in the machine shop. So me being an old, nostalgic kind of guy, I had to pick it up. So there's a lot of measuring things in here, taps, punches, drift pins, like compasses, just, reamers, O-rings, had a few of these micrometers in there, depth gauge micrometer. But I bought it just because And here's some nice bits, drill bits he had in there. Because it was his dad's, and I thought it'd be kind of nice to have. And since I had purchased it, the man had passed away, so I'm really quite happy. I did buy the thing, so I had something to remember and buy. A real nice fella. This drawer here, I leave these plugs in here for extension cords, because I always am changing or making cords up or fixing cords, or you pull an end off, so I always have spares. This next drawer down here, I had a hammer drawer. You see all my hammers down below, that's all my metal hammers. This particular drawer is all of my claw hammers, and they were laying everywhere around my farm. So I found them, and I actually put them all together in one drawer, amazingly enough. Again, before I had this shop, my tools were scattered everywhere. I had one or two of these toolboxes down the other end, in this little red box here, and my tools were everywhere. Never could find nothing. Had them in my truck, had them everywhere. So now I took this 11 or 12 foot, I don't have a snap-on special, 30,000 special, but I have this collection of toolboxes that I put all my tools in now, so at least I know where they're at. And I don't know if you've noticed as you went along, you see these tags on here, these little labels on here. Me and my grandson actually did that too, but because I was tired of not knowing where all my tools were, what drawers they were in. So I said, as you get older, you'll learn that. You can't remember where you put half your stuff. But anyway, now I marked them all so I can take and find the stuff easier. Just a tip, for you guys getting older, you might want to do that, so you know where your stuff's at. The bottom part of this drawer is all hammers. This is like specialty type tools. Like this tool is a tool that you tighten disc gangs up with. When you're working on disc for a field, disking a field. Right here this is the wrench that tightens that same disc. So there's a square on I can't really see it. They always say heavy wrench talks about making wrenches up, but you see this wrench? This is the nut. This wrench here is the nut that goes on the disc to tighten the disc gang up. And that's the thing you hook on the disc part, on the square part of the disc that has the nut screws to. It holds it in place, and you reef this 5-foot bar or 4-foot bar and tighten her home. So those are the kind of tools I put in these parts. They're kind of specialty tools, or whatever you want to call them. And these are all of my pry bars. I made a little thing to hang them up here to use them. And then the heavy wrench did he did honor me with buying this particular one here. He actually gave me a snap-on, I don't know what they call this thing. I think they call that one you can hit on this, a strike hand pivot. But I never had a fancy pry bar like this. So the heavy wrench decided to purchase me one. And of course I was honored and excited that I got something for the heavy wrench. So now,
You're good to go.
fine. Now, have you ever had a day where you just don't have Permatex or something like that, right? So this year at Christmas time, my local auto parts store sent me this fancy thing where you bought all this gasket material, or making material, Permatex material I guess it's called. There's Loctite in here, there's Permatex, gasket maker, and all kinds of stuff in here anyway. That RV or the RTV stuff. I bought this because my one grandson is a drone person. They gave me a free drone if I bought that. So I got the free drone. We haven't tried it out yet, but we're going to try it out this summer. I want them to mount a camera on it so we can take pictures around the farm. But we'll see. That might be another video we could do. A drone video. Cool. The top part of this box here is rags, another pretty much catch-all. If you notice, every one of my tops of my toolboxes are catch-alls because I catch everything, I look at everything and try to find everything. Just throw stuff up there, okay? Well, in this drawer here comes, ooh, what is this? I don't know. Oh, this is like all my 6-in-1 screwdrivers. You know, the old, this one is an HVAC world. I use these all the time. You have all these screwdrivers you'd use with nut drivers on them and everything. So I have a drawer of those guys because it's a scissors drawer. Everybody needs one of them. These are, I don't know if anybody knows what these screwdrivers are, but these are electrician screwdrivers that you use on high voltage stuff. You will never get a shock if you use these screwdrivers in electricity. Nut drivers, screwdrivers, this is all fiberglass. Your hands never touch, the only thing metal is that end right there. And these are, you won't ever get a poke on them. So I was looking at the video the other day of that nuts and bolts with tone guy, and he was talking about working on these hybrid stuff. You might want to look into getting a set of these guys, because if you work on that AC electrical stuff on them hybrids, that might be the tool you might be looking for. Made by Klein. Part number, oh, I don't even know. No. Oh yeah, it's a patent number. But anyway, that's what them are for. By the way, the video was nice. I watched the whole thing. It was a nice video. These are HVAC tools. As you can tell, I was an HVAC guy. This is a airflow meter. Again, these are Schrader valve tools. I have a lot of different ones of those. I used to do a lot of that crap, that kind of work. Same thing. Okay, that's all those are. Now this one here, this is my auto darkening mask shields. I lost these years ago. I finally found them. I put them in this drawer and forgot where I put them. And of course, I didn't mark them. This is, well, these are my crummy screwdrivers that I can use if I ever want to make into pry bars or whatever. That's what I do with them. This drawer here, oh, interesting drawer. All my squares, my squares, angle makers, of course your dial indicators, and if you want to be on the level, there's my levels. That's what I put in here. These are like my tools I use for working on when I'm laying out stuff in my welding work. So they were always laying everywhere else. I got stuck in the drawer stuff. Don't ever buy these crappy boxes because they always get your stuff stuck. Okay, now this is a fancy drawer. You might like this to see this, because I know all you guys brag about your meters, but let me show you here. I have got tons of meters. I got little cheapies that I bought. See, now these meters here, this is a meter that meters in, this is a digital vacuum gauge for AC work. See, you guys think you got it all figured out? I have one of those guys. This thing here, I think this is, you ain't gonna believe this, but this is a mega meter for doing shoot, can't remember the name of them. Capacitors. And that's what that meter is. So, you know, you guys talk about your meters. I got a few here that you guys would like to see maybe someday. But anyway, that's what them do. You can all make out capacitors. And of course, I have my standard meters. You know, fluke meter. That is a for doing gas furnaces for the water column. That's a water column meter. And that's it for them, George. Okay. Everybody needs a zip tie drawer, right? Of course, mine zip ties are getting real old and brittle, I guess. We were working on some stuff the other day and they broke them. This is a Ryobi temperature gauge gun. Garage sale special, $1. Works. All right, the bottom drawer here is, these are pop rivets and they are staple guns. These are all the extra sockets I didn't have a place for when I was sorting all my sockets. And I don't know what I'm gonna do with them someday, but I'm gonna do something with them, but I stuck them in this drawer just to have them in somewhere. So they're off the floor and out of a bucket. This is pipe threaders, more flashlights, and this, I would love to put this out and see if anybody knows what this is. I don't know if you guys would know what this tool here is.
Just have them do it in the comments.
If you guys know what this thing is, please let me know in the comments below. I'm gonna leave that as a guessing tool because that's a tool that I think everybody should use sometime in their life. So let me know if you know what that tool is. I'm not gonna give you the name of it, but you should know if you do it. Oh, and then this is all in there. That's all I really have in there. And this drawer here is just a drawer I stuff gloves in because I like to keep gloves around. And I like to keep that drawer. In the bottom drawer, you'll like this drawer. This is a belt for one of my mowers and another Husky Dusty Impact. Everybody needs a Husky Impact. Don't know if they're any good or not. I don't know if I've even used them before, but I never use the boys. And then up. Okay, this is an interesting little thing. I have all these drills and grinders and whatnot have yous, and I was leaving them everywhere and never knowing where they were at. So my lovely wife decided one day to go on to Pinterest, they call it. I don't even know what that is, but she went on this thing called Pinterest, and she's seen this setup. So I decided to buy some PVC pipe and make it. And that has been probably one of the handiest things I've ever done. Because now I know when the drill or a grinder or something's missing. It's easy to find. So I would recommend that people, if you have a chance to do something like this, do something like this because you'll never lose your stuff. It's always hanging up, you can always see it. And I have this top shelf. And on this top shelf, I needed a place to put the books where I had all my welders, my everything, all the machines I have. Farm machinery as well as all my shop machinery. I have it all up here now where I can find it, pull the book down and repair on something or work on something. And then I kind of stick some pieces up here, overflow type of things. I mean, I have shelves that I put my cans and stuff on, but I threw a few here so I can come over and get myself instead of walking all over the shop to get them. And that's basically, I put that shelf up and then I went down and put some other shelves up down here where I actually stored all my cases of things. I mean, we can take a look at them in a minute, right? Let's take a look at them right now. This top part of these shelves are stuff that I have that we use, like, you know, tech screws. And I made this little setup up here where I have different things on my wife's mayonnaise lady. So I get all kinds of mayonnaise jars from her. I put them up here and I make hitch pins, roll pins, just things that you use periodically, like battery terminals, stuff like that, because I never could find them before. So now I can find. I put hose stuff up there. My grinding discs are up here. A couple of filters for my loader and my skid steer. And that's pretty much it for that. Okay. And over here, you have to end it. Over here I have all the stuff that are really, all the pieces that, like this stuff, the kits. I always had kits that I had no place to put them, never could find them. So So now they're all on a shelf, labeled, so we can find them. I ain't gotta go back and, you know, all of a sudden you want to buy you want a grease fitting, we'll go uptown and buy one. No, they're all right here now. So I can find them in front of us, which has been very helpful. And okay, this cabinet here is where I put all of my hand tools, electric corded tools, and stuff like that I don't use every day, but yet when you need them, you want to be able to find them. So that is where I put all my electric tools that I use periodically. And this would be the end of the toolbox tour. So I would like to thank my cameraman and my right-hand man, who needs to get in my camera right now, who come with me and stand beside me so I can see you. Come on. You gotta stand beside me. You must stand beside me, Coach. There, Chase. This is my main man. I always tell him, I loved him when he was 5 years old, better than he is now, but still, he's the best. He's my right-hand man. He used to help me feed cows, and now he's my super cameraman. And I can't believe how great he's been through all the years I've known him, since he's been 5 years old, just so you know. But I always say that was the best time, because we did crop tours, we did put him on the bus, and we had lots of fun, and now we still have tons of fun. He is my main helpful repair guy. This man right here has done, this summer, he roofed a building we built, metal roof. Because I couldn't climb up there, he did, screwed every piece of metal on this roof for me. So I am very proud of this guy here. I call him my right-hand man. We could probably make up a name for him, like, you know, Middle Ridge or something like that. But, you know, he's the man. I call him Chase, or Chaz. Chaz, really. Thank you for doing it, Chase.
Yeah. All right, well, my dad did his toolbox tour. Little man's here. I've been working the whole time listening to it. Just let them two go. And that is... We're recording, yeah. Okay. So, anyway, that was the toolbox tour of the Old Time Welder, and he wanted to put it out there. It is a serious collection of years of buying stuff at different places. He's definitely got a good collection, and we got dancing little man here.
We got Little Wrench dancing around.
So anyway, well, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Hit that like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good jazz. Like I said at the beginning, merchandise is available. HeavyWrench.com.
My first one, I got to have lots of views.
Oh yeah, give him a thumbs up. Give the Old Time Welder a thumbs up. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you appreciate it.
He's not that. He's my grandpa.
He's your grandpa, that's right.
And he's an old-time welder.
Hey, do you want to say, may your wrenches never slip and have a great day?
Maybe wrenches never slip. Bye. Never wrenches never slip. Bye.
Say it nicely. Say it nicely. Say, may your wrenches never slip and have a great day. Say it.